Hello, everyone. Welcome on this very fine evening to Lessons in Deep Magic with me. That's me. Hi. I'm supposed to keep these people in check. Sometimes it works. I'm Lydia. I'm a half-assed hermit, and I'm playing the Deep Magic supplement campaign for Kobold Press today with these lovely folks. Let's introduce ourselves real quick and start with Bastien and go counterclockwise with Lorenzo next.
All right. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. I am Colin at Colonomicon on Twitter and pretty much everywhere else, and I'm going to be playing Bastien Kumara tonight, the bard boy of the group, who isn't feeling like much of a bard at the moment, and probably wouldn't identify as such for the time being. Having a dark night of the soul, thanks to that one over there.
That's rude.
But you search your heart, you know it to be true.
Noir. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm Noir. I play Lorenzo. You can find me on all the socials as the Noir Enigma or Noir Enigma. You just try it. If you see me, it worked. Yeah, Lorenzo is not in the best of moods right now. He kind of let his best friend down, and now he's stuck hanging out with his best friend's crush. And so, things could be better.
Aren't we all sunshine
Thanks,
and
Lydia.
fucking rainbows today?
You did it.
Sure, guilt trip me some more. Pickle, be nice to me. Be nice. Just in general,
Hey.
please.
Guilt tripper.
Do I need to pickle Karen right now? We can do it. No. Hey everybody, it's me, Draku. I'm playing Pickle, the Chaos Wizard, rat folk, and I am hopefully going to be cheering Bastien up a little bit tonight after that wonderful last session. We'll see. It may also get real sad again, depending on how this goes. So, yeah. There we go.
And our Phöebe. How depressed are you?
Hello. Well, you can't tell just by looking at her, is the thing. Hi, I'm Savvy, at Savvy Seaworth on the Twitters. That's where all of my stuff is. Here today I'm playing Phöebe, the Cleric of the Moon and Prophet of Sarastra, and currently Keeper of the Dulcimer.
They're coming after me hard right now, in case anyone's been wondering in a chat, because I see a lot of what the fuck did you do to them. I'll give you a recap in a second, but considering that we've actually only had 3 episodes so far, things got rough. Things got pretty fucking rough and pretty fucking personal. So there is a new little feature that I've decided to alleviate my guilt with, let's be honest, which is the little chaos crit that you can see in Noir and Lorenzo's window just now. And those of you who are in fact part of the Encounter Roleplay server, which is where all of us kind of found each other, you will probably recognize this as one of the more recent icons there. So basically, after every episode, I'm doing a little straw poll to let the Chaos Chorus, so people from Encounter Roleplay, decide who to help out with an auto crit. We don't do donations in this particular channel, but I figured it would be nice to have that little curating kid. And yeah, Lorenzo won the vote and is very proud of himself. If you want to vote with us next week, then there's a little link in chat to the Encounter Roleplay Discord. Feel free to join. We have lots of other games there as well. And yes, you can help these fuckers out. They do deserve it. They do deserve all the love because they've been bringing their A game in terms of RP. We've been starting in Midgard, which is the main continent in Kobold Press's world. very nice little innocent arcane collegium in Sobek. You would expect a little bit of Hogwarts. You would expect a little bit of magic, a little bit of maybe some soap opera in terms of relationships and all that. All of them students are somehow affiliated with the collegium. Didn't happen because of a magic explosion of sorts. Everything going chaotic, and suddenly our 4 heroes have been transported to the low roads in the Shadow Realm. The very lowest of roads, where even regular travelers usually get lost and never return. However, they did, with the help of Bastien's music and Pickle's just ever sunny disposition, really, get out, find their way into Caramel, which is the City of Lanterns in the Shadow Realm. And there they tried to find their way back home, realized they don't have the documentation or money or Karen personality, really, to successfully persuade or intimidate clerks into just giving them teleportation powers. So they ended up in a little inn, a bar, where a bard battle was supposed to happen. It did happen, and our very own bard Bastien took part and lost quite badly. And this is why everyone is a little bit worse for wear today, because he didn't just lose the battle, he lost a little bit of himself that day, with his friends being charmed to cheer for his opponent, with his crush, Phöebe, even asking his opponent later on if maybe he could give Bastien lessons at some point. That one stung a little bit. And after he stormed out like a proper bard, and Pickle eventually found him in the streets like a proper bard, we have a little party split happening at the moment, with Pickled Fish and Bastien together and Lorenzo and Phöebe together, because Lorenzo also had an appointment to keep. He had given a promise, just a regular old promise, regular old favor, to a woman called Mareshka, who was running a magical mirror shop. And in the Shadow Fae, favors and promises are pretty good currency. Not that Lorenzo doesn't always keep his word, but he is about to meet up with Mareshka to figure out what she wants from him, what task she has in mind. And this is where we find ourselves, in the Fire Fate Park of Cornwall, which is a beautiful park. In its center, a fountain, white marble fountain, gleaming and glistening, with clear water springing forth from a carp's mouth. The carp is trapped in the mouth of a frog. The frog is trapped in the mouth of a human, and the human is trapped in the mouth of a bear. It's a fairly strange fountain, but a very sought after, partly, I guess, tourist attraction, but also for the Shadow Fae, for the people of the Shadow Realm. It is a sacred place, as it creates a very warm orange glow, illumination magic, and just general magic, giving people a sense of calm, a sense of hope, and a sense of peace when they are in Fire Fate Park. The elf-marked Phöebe and our Dampier Lorenzo, however, have not been feeling much of that peace, still being racked with guilt over their friend Bastien. But Mareshka has made her appearance, is waiting by the fountain, and has nodded to Lorenzo to come over whenever he's ready. That's my dog.
Seeing Mareshka there, Lorenzo is going to nod over to Phöebe. That's her. That's Mareshka. I owe her a favor.
Do you have any idea what she's going to ask you?
None. It's not too late for you to turn back.
I told you this last time. Bastien will literally kill me. You're not going by yourself.
Okay. And with that, he walks over to Mariska. His normal demeanor of neutralness is very shot. he just walks over to her, looking already kind of defeated, and just, how can I serve?
It's nice to see you again, Lorenzo. How have you been?
I have not been well.
I can see that on your face. Well, should this favor of yours be the cause of it, I hope you'll be happy to hear that it could be done with tonight's errand.
What would you have me do?
Oh, don't look so glum. I'm not going to have you shank a person on the street. I'm not a monster. She is a very beautiful human woman, very tall, dark-skinned, with very intense eyes, very smart, sharp eyes, and she looks the part for the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Fae are bon vivants, at least that's what they look like. They always have little brocade embroidered clothes, looking a little bit aristocratic for our senses. They like style. And, of course, if you want to run a shop in that world, then you have to fit in, and she definitely does. She is very much put together, I think is the best way to describe her. She sighs. Well, as it happens, I just got word that a customer of mine is out of town. And naturally, everything I tell you now is between us. Is Phöebe there as well? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that earlier.
Which she
Yeah,
says
I think,
between. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, I think Phöebe just followed him over and is kind of standing like
Mm-hmm.
a little behind his shoulders, like let him have his conversation. But yeah, she's there.
Cool. Then she will nod to you in particular as she says that. I don't mind your friend helping you on this task as long as she is trustworthy.
She is.
Well, I've had a little bit of trouble with the customer. I had a mirror built and enchanted for him. Lots of little extras, lots of hours of work put into, money was promised, yet now that I've delivered it to him, he refuses to pay. Well, he claims he will pay me in exposure. After all, he is Master of Ceremonies at Prince Hendrik's palace. He receives lots of fancy clients. They will all see the mirror. He will gush about the mirror. He will tell them who built it, and he will hand out my card. I cannot eat from being talked about and have my cards handed out. This was not agreed upon, but I was naive enough to believe that a man of his standing would be good for his word, after all. As you yourself know, this would be considered proper currency in this realm. Unfortunately, suing him as Master of Ceremonies for Prince Hendrik is a little tricky, so I thought, having received word that he is out of town tonight, you could help me set things right.
I will retrieve your mirror. He made you an oath, and he broke it.
Don't retrieve it for me. It can easily be traced back. I need you to break it. I need you to become criminals for just tonight. And I know that's a lot to ask, but it will be for a good cause. Hopefully. You can find his house quite easily. I will give you the address. Get inside. Make it look like a robbery, like a break-in, I don't care. You may even take some of the items with you if you feel like it. I will not tattle on you. After all, we're kind of in this together. Smash the mirror. That is all I'm asking.
I can do this.
Wonderful. See? Is that so bad? Am I such a villain?
I never thought you were.
Charming, too. Now, naturally, if you are apprehended and caught, then you've never
I have
met
never
me.
met you.
Good boy. You know how to reach me when the deed is done?
I will either find you at your shop or I will convene with you via your mirror.
Say my name into the mirror and I'll be with you. Good luck. Oh. Try the water if you have the necessary sacrifice. It is quite replenishing. She nods towards the fountain, where you can see a line of people. Now that it's late at night, it's not that long anymore, but they are lined up to either drink from the fountain directly, or to take a little vial, a little bottle of water with them. And as you look to the mirror, she walks off. Doesn't vanish in a cloud of smoke or anything, just walks away.
I just kind of watch her, and Phöebe, we could get in quite a bit of trouble for this.
Yeah.
And still you do not waver.
You're my friend. Plus, I think people who go back on their word are the real criminals.
So do I. Well, care for a drink at the fountain?
Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna just walk over and dip his hand in and drink some water.
There is a guard stopping you as you try to do that. We talked about that briefly last time, but it's been a week.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'll just tell you before you get in trouble. There are sacrifices expected before you can take from the fountain, from the fountain's water, and the guards points you to a sign that they have put up quite neatly for the tourists, which says the various amounts of money value from different parts of Midgard and other planes, which would transfer to roughly 200 gold pieces, or
Yikes!
I know, right? A moment of strong anxiety, a gift given by a friend. Either of these three things can be used to pay.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna try and pay with a moment of anxiety. I've got that to
Describe
spare.
the moment for me in great detail, just, to torture you on the way out.
So I'm giving them this moment. Okay. Shit. It will be back at the college where he saw someone from his past that wasn't really there. That moment where he thought that person was alive and well, that's the moment that he's getting rid of right now.
And it fades. As you think of this man, as you think of his face, and how you saw that face, and then turned out to be someone completely different and you were not sure for a moment what... Is your brain finally cracking? Or was it just being tired? Or it just lifts from your spirit, from your soul, and instead is replaced with very peaceful nothingness.
He
And the
takes
guard
a
nods.
deep breath. Yeah, he just takes a deep breath and like tears stream as that is just gone, and he's just so grateful. Then he drinks.
Feel relief, and you drink. And with that first gulp, you feel refreshed. Consider the fact that you've been up for about 48 hours now, because even though you are a late riser, obviously, as a Dampier, you had no rest since the very first moment, since that beautiful, beautiful meeting in the big square, when Phöebe was about to speak her wisdom to the people assembled, and suddenly shit hit the fan. You've been running, you've been panicking, you've been lost in the shadow roads, you've been at that bard battle that still weighs so heavily on you, and not a moment of peace and quiet. But as you drink that water, you feel refreshed, you feel all that wash away. It's still there, no memory is taken from you, but any and all exhaustion that was creeping into you and up to you is gone. You also feel warm inside, a beautiful warmth spreading through every limb, finally reaching your mind where it settles around you like a comfortable blanket. You have fire resistance for the next 24 hours, and you have temporary HP up to twice your level. So I think that would be 8 at this point.
Yep.
And Phöebe, you can see him almost glow up.
Wow.
This is... I recommend this, Phöebe. It costs, but it's worth it.
Everything does. Phöebe wants to drink as well. And we'll also give a moment of anxiety.
What is that moment?
The moment from earlier in the evening in which Calvin's charm wore off and she realized Bastien was gone.
You feel that stiffness, that frozen fear, when you realized what had happened, when you realized the glamour had worked its way through all reason, through all common sense, and looking up, and then you feel relaxing, your body relaxing, your muscles no longer as tense, as this moment too is taken completely away from you. You may drink, says one of the guards. Thank you for your sacrifice.
She will.
And you, too, feel the warmth well up and replace that anxiety. And you, too, gain the fire resistance, 8 HP, temporary HP. And you're rid of all exhaustion. At this point, I would like to say, what's happening in chat? Because I did not pay attention, and suddenly we're on a level 5 hype train. What?
Oh shit!
67%. 2 more percent, and we have the nice number. Thank you very much, everyone who's...
Oh my
Holy
god!
shit. There we go. Oh god. Thank you, everyone who's donating subs to the channel, from Draco to Colin. Of course, it's Draco and Colin. To Sphinxrel and Doc subscribing, Void Smoker. You absolutely fucking rock. Thank you very much, and thanks for being with us tonight. Now you feel relaxed, you feel refreshed, and on the mirror that Mareshka has left you with, that little hand mirror of scrying, you see numbers glowing, an address.
Lorenzo is looking at that, but he kind of puts a hand on Phoebe's shoulder and just says, whatever you gave, it's yours to know and yours to forget. But I'm glad you drank with me. We have our location.
Me too.
He,
Okay.
he puts the mirror away. If things go poorly, just make an effort to leave is all I ask.
You spent a lot of today trying to tell me what to do.
Eventually, I was hoping it might work.
An unstoppable force and immovable objects.
I suppose it makes a lot of sense then. He
Let's get to
certainly
work.
seems to have a type. He just walks towards
Wait.
wherever the
Wait.
location is.
What?
Nothing. It's not important.
And as you are heading across town into an area that is definitely part of the nicer part of Coromel, and you can feel, you've done a tour earlier with the Lantern Dragonette, you've been to these areas, you've been told about fancy politicians and important royals and nobles and various court members that have at one point sat at a bench or leaned against a random bloody tree. You're feeling the city change again, and it takes a while to get there, so as you walk, we will return to our other two party members. We'll return to Pickled Fish and to Bastien, who, well, I don't know, what have you guys been up to?
To quote Beyonce, I've been drinking. We're... I think we found the closest, cheapest looking bar we could find to where Pickle found Bastien kind of wallowing on the street before. And sat down and already a few glasses deep. What do you think we're up to while we're drinking, Pickle?
Well, still trying to cheer you up, trying to comfort you. So, probably talking about anything other than what just happened.
Mm.
So, she's also a few shot glasses deep in this very cheap ale. Very, very, very watered down, but it's still doing the job because she's Pickle and she doesn't drink. So, yeah.
So my sister's a bitch. I don't know if I told you about her before.
No.
Awful. Awful. She always had She had all the verses memorized in the book, and she would show me up every time we went to the temple. She'd be reading, and she would read from the book, and then she would take it just like this. She would hold it just like this, and she would shut it, and then she would keep reading because she had it all up here. That's the kind of person she was.
That does not sound very nice of her to do. But I bet that if you were to read it out loud I think that you should you should read it to me right now. Let's hear it. Yes.
It's actually you want to hear? Okay, fine. I can do it. I have it. It's been.
Yes.
I have it memorized. At this point. It goes like this. By the way, if you've never read Pickle from Sarastra's Holy Book, I'm just warning you. This is going to be a little confusing. You'll see. It goes okay. So it goes something like this. Sarastra says to us in the third part of the tome. It opens with the words, "Nothing is impossible!" But purpose is a constant. To walk the story is to become one with the story. Prophet, that is you. You are the reader, the prophet. Look within yourself and empower yourself. Who are we? We are on a great vision quest to be aligned, for throughout history, mortal kind has been interacting with the stars and with the realms. I think it goes. I'm paraphrasing a bit there, but I love this next bit. But mortal kind has nothing to lose, for the flow of energy happens around us at all times, and we must enlighten and empower ourselves, for the circuit never ends. It is an invocation to which we are forever aligned, and with faith and grace in the Night Mother herself, we shall ascend to the next level. Thank you. Okay, your turn. Here, I wrote a few down on a napkin here for you, and I know we've been practicing, and I think you're getting a lot better. You've been getting a lot better lately.
I think so. I've been trying really hard, and I'm ready. I want to try this. Yes. What am I reading?
Okay,
I will read it so pretty.
So start at the part that says, we have been called to explore the totality, etc., etc., etc.
We are being called to explore these totality itself as an interface between insight and healing.
Bravo! Excellent! Pickle, excellent!
I can be an orator now. I am practicing, and I will be so good. And these are so much better than some of the things that we would say about Voland. But Voland is great. Don't get me wrong. He's great. But this is just, there's so much to it. You know, like,
I'm sorry. I don't know the first thing about Voland. They don't teach that here. It's all Sarastra all the time in the Shadow Realm.
Voland's pretty amazing. He made the dwarves. Like, he's pretty cool. And oh man, there was something what did she say? She would always, we'd have to always sing praises to Voland before we tried to make anything, because he is the Lord of the earth and the fire and the smiths, and he's just great.
Well, that.
This is great too.
Well, hey, I don't mean. I'm just. You said that Voland is. Created the dwarves. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, he did. He did. He did with Thor. Thor helped him too, and together they made the dwarves.
Okay. Pickle. I don't mean to. I hope it comes out right. Who made you, then?
I don't know.
Oh, well, all right then.
I know that I am not a dwarf.
I hope you know that. Yes.
Yes, because dwarf ears are not as big as mine. And I
That's
have
true.
a tail.
She kind of holds it up.
Also. yeah,
And
yes.
and I have fur, but dwarves are very hairy too, so that's a similarity I didn't really think about until now.
First time, really. Oh.
But yeah. What about who made you?
Oh. It's a complicated question. The Shadow Fae would say, because he kind of like looks nervously around the bar to see who's listening. Of course, Sarastra made us. That's what we are taught growing up, of course, but it's not entirely true, really.
Why not?
No, no, not too loud about that. That's
Okay.
let's just say that a goddess's version of events suffices for most people. If you know what I mean. You don't know what I mean.
So,
Okay.
well, is it kind of like when like Unreal tells me to do certain spells, I listen to him because that's how it's done?
I guess. I'm sorry, Pickle. I feel awful. We've been studying together now for months, and I know so little about you. I feel awful. I never asked enough questions. I wasn't curious enough. What? Who is
Unreal. Did you not? He is the master of our chaos lessons. Do you
Oh, I don't.
pay attention in chaos magic?
No, it's not really our forte. Shadowfade do illumination.
It's not my forte either, but I am going to try.
Well, you're doing good, right? Your grades have been good. Yeah, you always seem to be. You're always in the library. You're working so hard.
You're in the library too. What are you working on in there?
Personal thing, not school, really, I admit. Writing, sometimes assigned to reorganize books, which is awful. But I've slacked off a bit, if I'm honest with you.
Well, I've seen you writing in there before, because that's when you taught me how to write my name in your language. And that was fun, and maybe you maybe write more things. Yes.
Of course I
That's-
do, Pickle. I write all the time. I write lyrics for my songs. I write well, the occasional poem, but I'm not very good. I've written letters. I write letters. I do that every once in a while. Unfortunately, I don't do much in the way of studying outside of the few times that you and I meet. Maybe that's my problem. I don't know. Do you have... And Bastien reaches into his pocket. Oh, damn it. Damn it all. Pickle, you don't have any money, do you?
Yes.
And she digs around a little bit.
How much?
Well, I would like to keep drinking and possibly find a place to stay. I doubt you have that much on you.
I have.
And she looks and just slaps 10 gold on the table.
I
Oh
have
my.
this much. I have more. I have more. But this for now. Right?
Wow.
That's what you said not to. Yes.
Maybe, okay, maybe we shouldn't keep drinking. Perhaps... Would you like to have a walkabout? Maybe I can show you around. I know, okay, I've never been here before, but I used to look at maps of it all the time. I always wanted to come here, so I have a pretty good idea of the street layout. How about I can
Yes.
show you the sights?
Yes. Yes.
And she, starts to try to get up and, is holding on to the table, very wobbly.
You can I hold your hand for this?
Yeah, of course. And he holds out,
Okay.
a finger for her little rat paw.
Takes it.
Just leave that gold on the bar right there. Very good. And, let's get going. And, Bastien puts the gold down on the bar tab that Pickle wasn't able to read, because it's in another language and her reading's already rough anyway, and that number is much higher than 10 gold. But he puts it down. Alright, let's go!
Are you just skipping? Are you just drinking and dashing here?
Well, we paid part of it, just not the whole amount. We made a down payment on our tab.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Right, let's go! And we,
Roll
skip.
Okay.
Oh, she said
What would
roll
that
me.
be? Yeah, roll me a deception check. Just,
Oh, she says to the bard.
Mhm.
How's a 22 sound?
Yeah, I did set the DC at 20 because fuck you. But, bards, my god. With all the confidence of someone who's never done a wrong thing in their life ever. You take that and put it on the bar and keep the change, and you fuck off with the bar person still. Oh, that must be a lot because they were so nice, and I hope you feel guilty about that. You, Colin, in particular. As you leave and start, well, would we call it walking about, or should we call it ambling about in definitely
Gambling,
not a straight
yeah.
line. Yeah,
Mm.
we return to our friends who have now reached a surprisingly small, straight, sort of a little lane, if you will, in a city that is generally in a very sort of ring shape and is moving outwards more and more. It's split by the River Lethe, and you have crossed the bridge to get to the fancy people's district, but the area itself, while being nice, also has many of these small lanes that lead into little courtyards and enclosures. You you would think a master of ceremony, the way Mareshka talked about him, had a big mansion, but it seems more like a small town flat, small apartment. It's not like there's big fences that it's guarded. It's very peaceful, very quiet. And you reach the address, you find two marble columns supporting a little balcony. You find the door being simple wood, dark brown. The name is the very same name that you see on your mirror, Theodore Frachter.
Well, we're here. I intend to knock on his door and to have a discussion with him. Perhaps see if he can find reason. And if not,
Quick DM reminder, she deliberately said he's out of town.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, so we're just gonna break in. Never mind that. Oh, God. Okay. So, he's gonna go up to the door and look at Phöebe. Do you know how to open this without causing damage?
No. I mean, you could just try it.
Some
people forget to lock their doors.
I'm going to open the door.
How?
I'm just gonna try and turn the handle.
It is locked.
You always have to check.
Yeah, it would have been embarrassing if I did something like this. And he just shoulder checks the door to slam it open.
Alright, make me a strength check.
Okay. 17 plus 3. 20, so 30-20.
And you bump into the door. You're not exactly trying to be super subtle and super... you're fucking shoulder checking a door that will make a noise. And
yes.
It does. But you also hear the splintering of wood. It's not yet open.
Great. Well, he does it again.
Roll me another strength check.
That's less 50.
This time, you try and get a little bit more worried as you hear a horse-drawn carriage rattle by somewhere at the entrance of the lane. And it splinters again, but it's still not open. One more time.
Okay. he hears the footsteps coming, and he looks to Phöebe. He goes, "There would be no shame if you were to start to hide." And you can see he's lunging to do it one last time. 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yes. So the DC for all of these, well, for the first one it was 20 for the next to it was 17. You get the door open. It swings open. You half fall inside as the carriage rattles past. Phoebe?
He just holds the door open for Phoebe.
Do the people in the carriage do anything?
In the carriage, they don't seem to notice. The driver,
Okay.
however, is looking because you failed. You passed 2 out of 3. He's just looking and then like shrugs and keeps going.
As he looks, I'll just wave like, this is totally normal. We're supposed to be here
tips his
doing
hat.
this.
Tips his hat. Shadow Fae. And the door is open. Well done.
Okay, I'll go in. Thanks.
So first thing first, Lorenzo's going to take a deep breath and sniff and use his divine senses just to make sure there's no celestials, fiend, or undead in the area.
There are no celestials, fiends, or undead, but there are some energies from the floor above that seem to fit the bill. Not people, possibly items.
Well, I have a feeling I might know where our item is. And he just starts to head upstairs. And he takes his axe out, just in case.
Are you following him immediately, Phoebe?
Before I do, I would like to cast a spell on this first floor.
Mm-hmm.
Where did it go? It is called By the Light of the Moon. And the area around me becomes bathed in magical moonlight. It highlights objects and locations that are hidden or that hold a useful or interesting clue. And then wisdom and it's perception and investigation checks also around me are made with advantage. It lasts for a minute, so I'll take it with me.
Damn, those deep magic spells. All right. So you look around, and you're looking around. Is that on you? So wherever you go, it's going with you for a while?
Yes, so it is. It's on me, and then it's a 30-foot radius out.
Your attention is immediately drawn to a little bowl that is standing, that is placed on top of just a random little cupboard. You know, it's a wardrobe. The hallway area has shoes, has jackets, the usual thing you would expect from a hallway right in front of the door. But there is this little bowl filled with random tidbits, notes, reminders of meetings, some keys, some coins as well. You know, all the shit you find in your pockets that you then put into a random bowl and forget about for the next 10 years. But one of these items is a small ring. And that one is glowing in a strange light.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll pick it out.
Alright.
And then she'll kind of bop around for just another, 10 or 15 seconds, just kind of, look around, see if there's anything else, and then go upstairs.
Mm-hmm. The ground floor seems to be quite simple. A large kitchen on the left, a door is open. There is a closed door on your right. Do you open it?
Yeah.
It is a bedroom. It seems to be the master bedroom. Large bed, but not much else. It's very Spartan. Considering the area, considering a master of ceremonies, you'd be expecting some opulence. But there is no opulence here on this ground floor. But Lorenzo, as you head upstairs, this is where the opulence is hidden. It seems like you're entering a completely different house as you open the door at the top of the stairs to walk into an incredibly large room that seems to be a little bit of everything. a library and study, a workroom and office, a drawing room for receiving visitors with beautiful, lush cushioned chairs, and there's trophies. There's actually, yeah, that is where your divine sense was struck from. One area in the back that seems to feature
Yeah.
weapons, items of sorts.
Yeah, that would be where I'm going first. Just kind of following
Yeah.
the divine sense.
Yeah. Are you entering the bedroom? Are you looking around downstairs?
Yeah, yeah, I think she'll kind of wander in and see if there's anything to be seen.
There's 2 books by the bed. There's some clothes on the bed. It's not made. This seems to be a private area, very private, so he doesn't have to impress anyone by being super neat and tidy.
Yeah, I'll sort of wander over to the books, see what those are about.
One is a book on some foreign dignitaries. Just reading the title makes you yawn. It's about customs and etiquette in the Northlands. That's roughly the shortened version of it. And the other book is simply leather bound with no markings.
I think I'll just crack it open to the first page and see what's in there.
You find a date on the first page that was several months ago. And you find a diary entry. You read through it a little bit till you notice what it is. And it talks about things that make you feel for this man a little bit. He seems to be not very happy at his job. He seems to be not very happy with his life. It's pretty fucking depressing, to be perfectly honest. There's this bitterness to it, this anger towards everyone that seems to be happy. Yeah. He is a sad boy.
Alright, so let's kind of just close it back, won't read anymore. Just kind of pat the cover and just say to no one in particular, it's okay.
And you
You'll
try
be
and put
okay.
the book back down. You can't. It is stuck to your hand.
Well, guess that's coming with me. You'll just take it, calmly walk upstairs.
Phoebe walks up with a book in her hand.
What is that?
It's his journal.
We should probably leave it here.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but she's kind of...
Oh.
It doesn't
At
want to
this
say.
point, he's going to put his fingers in his to his eyes, and they're going to shimmer with a little bit of lightning, and he's going to cast Detect Magic.
It's not the book that is magical. It's the ring.
Ring. And then he's just going to... Phoebe, there is a ring that you have. Perhaps you should put it back where you found it.
You're the expert.
We are in a sad state of affairs if that is true.
Are you trying to take it off?
Yeah.
Make me a wisdom save at disadvantage.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. Second one was good. 21?
You start taking off the ring, and you don't want to. You really, really, really don't want to. But you look at Noir staring at you, Lorenzo staring at you intently, and you keep his gaze, and you finally manage to take off the ring. The book that was stuck to your hand drops to the floor.
Well, that was kind of a sticky situation.
Because the book was stuck to your hand.
Get it?
Are you
Bastien's
okay?
been teaching me how to tell jokes. Yeah, I'm fine.
He's very good at it.
So
I'm gonna look at
you
those
should
weapons
stay
with my
here, I
detect
guess.
magic.
Yeah. It's not just weapons, funnily enough. Well, Lorenzo, you look at those glass cases that are stacked on top of each other, artificially, beautifully so, almost a bit like abstract in an abstract way. It is glass and gold rims, and within those glass cases are body parts, weapons, items. There's a wide variety of stuff, all neatly labeled. But the things that draw your attention is something rather gruesome that radiates with undead energy. That is what really piqued your sense, your divine sense best. It is labeled as the tongue of a traitor, and the magical energy radiating from it is quite strong.
Phöebe.
yeah,
Just gonna call out to her. Could you take a look at this? I must warn you, it's unpleasant.
yeah, sure. What is it?
It is literally a tongue. It is a tongue
Oh.
with several nails hammered through it, nailed onto a wooden board.
Yeah, it's definitely a tongue.
This is potent necromancy. I can smell it, taste it, but by chance, do you know anything more?
You wouldn't know about this particular item, but you know how to spot a trophy when you see one, and the card next to it, as you look around, there is a little bit more text, and you can easily read the summary of which saying it was given to the palace by the Ghoul Empire. And when you look at many of the other labels, there's a ring of a Clairvoyant, there's a longsword that radiates magically, there's a mace as well, and another ring. All of them have little bit of history attached to them, and they all seem to have been gifts at some point to Prince Hendrik, the Black Prince of Cornwall.
So we're definitely sure the prince doesn't live here, right?
I'm not certain. That's not what Reshka told me.
Weird. Do you think he took all these?
I think that the reason that we're here is because this individual's ambition far outweighs his intellect. We should go and collect. And when he hears the thunder, he just kind of stops.
He stops. Phoebe, you haven't heard a thing, but you can be absolutely sure that Lorenzo has just heard a noise as he freezes. And Lorenzo, the noise, the thunder, draws your attention to yet another ring placed on a very nice little cushion. It is a large silver ring embossed with a few runes you can't decipher, and a blue stone. And within the blue stone you see almost the swirling of thunderclouds. There is a draw to that ring. There is a connection you feel to that ring that you have never felt before.
Phoebe.
Are you okay?
I don't believe that I am. I feel that ring is calling to me. It's asking me to take it.
Can I go look at it? You stay there.
You look at it,
I will.
and the little plaque, and it says, Ring of a Storm Rider. Once born by a man of Midgard's Northlands. Sworn to the storm itself. It is said the storm would manifest as a draconic steed these warriors would ride into battle.
I'll read it out loud. And then, just say, any of that sound familiar to you?
No. But it feels right.
And on that note, as Lorenzo is staring at the ring and Phoebe feels the intensity, we are moving back to Bastien and Pickled Fish. What are you guys up to?
So Phoebe was asking me to teach her jokes recently. Can you believe that? I know one. Okay. I know a rat folk joke, and I promise it's not bad. Okay? I promise. Okay?
Okay.
But it's sort of relevant to what we were just doing, so trust me, this is gonna be funny.
Okay.
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 Where do rat folk go to get drunk?
I don't know.
At a squeakeasy.
And she makes this weird, like, high-pitched squeak that I'm not gonna force myself to continue doing. But she makes this little series of high-pitched squeaking and, kind of chitters her teeth. I don't know if you've heard a rat do it before, but she bruxes her teeth a little bit to make that little chittery sound. That you can... It's laughing in her own little rat folky way. And she, like,
I told you it
slaps
wasn't
her
bad.
leg.
That was funny. I did like that. I liked that a lot. You are funny, Bastien. You tell good jokes. And that's nice to share that part of you with Phoebe, because that's funny. That's great stuff. People like that, right? That's good that you're teaching her jokes.
She's quite funny all on her own without my help, honestly. She just doesn't realize it. That,
She usually says a lot of things that I don't quite understand, but she says them really well. She's really nice. I like her.
That's well, that's a priestess of Sarastra for you, but she's very funny. Well, so what do you want to see? There's so much to see in Coromel. We could head down to the waterfront. There's if you haven't seen the Black River, the Lethe is just gorgeous, and there's a lovely little lighthouse down there. It's very, very. I mean, it's one I've been told. Again, I'm working off of memory from reading maps, but I know that there's. You like making things. Do you want to see the smithy?
Yes! Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Right. Where is that? I remember reading about it.
We could. Do you have candles? We could wave another dragon down and find out, or
I left my candles in my loot case, unfortunately, and that's still back at the inn.
Okay, let's not go back there. We can find it.
Still doing the loot thing.
We can go find it.
I don't really want to go back there, Pickle.
We don't. No.
You want to just?
Nope.
You just want to wander.
We can
do this.
We can find the smithy. We can find that. I know the smell of a workshop from a mile away. We can find it.
Oh, well, the city's not that big. I guess sniff the air? See what you smell?
I don't smell anything yet. I smell something.
Oh.
I don't know what that is, though. I don't live here.
Takes me getting used to. You should. Let's see.
Do you guys want to roll for this, or do you just want to fuck it up?
Try it, Drake.
Let's roll, because maybe my dice will just go ahead and
Any
fuck it
form
up.
of intelligence check right now is rolled with disadvantage, because look at the state of yous.
Well, my lower roll was a 15. Just a straight int roll?
What is happening with these people today? Nobody's rolled below a 15.
So that's a 19.
Yeah.
19.
It is astonishing how through all that haze, how through all that booze, you genuinely seem to have a knack for finding your way to parts of a town that would be appropriate for a smithy. You figure, yeah, it must be somewhere near the river, possibly on the riverbank. You manage to even direct Bastien, who gets distracted every 5 minutes by, I don't know, a squirrel, or something pretty in a shop window, or the very fear and terror that potentially his sister or his mother are suddenly appearing in around the corner. But no, it's just another shadow elf. You just haven't seen them in so long. But you manage to direct him to an area that would be considered the artsy-fartsy craftsmanship part of the city. So it is very old-fashioned. It is what you would consider an old town part of Caramel. You can find lots of shops from weaving to silversmithing to eventually, yes, a proper smithy that is featuring a showroom that is actually meant for travelers, tourists, and everyone interested to watch people at work. And seems to be off season. Can you tell I'm a tour guide? Seems to be off season because there's nobody around in that area. The locals know the area. The locals are not super hyped after all these years. A couple of kids are running around, but it's very nice. It's very, very much you feel like you're in your element again. There's a sense of familiarity that you haven't felt in a long time.
And Pickle is just over the moon with this, pun intended, Sarastra. Ha ha ha. And so she's gonna kind of drag Bastien towards like this open area where they're kind of working on something, I'm assuming. And
Okay.
just,
All right.
Oh, look. See how he hammers it and then he turns it, he hammers it again. That's how you can flatten out the metal.
and she just spouts just solid, unless you interrupt her, for like 5 minutes. She'll just keep going on. So just at any time.
And that over there is the bellows, and you keep it hot, and you push down on this little thing, and it makes the fire get really hot, and then you're able to stick the metal back in there, and then it heats up and it turns, we call it cherry red. And then you take it out, and then that's when you hit it with the hammer on the anvil, and then and you can make just anything. You can make so many things with this. And see how that thing over there, you can use that tool to do this, and yes.
They have a gift shop. Would you like to see what is
Yes.
available? Perhaps maybe we can take something. Oh,
We could get gifts for everybody.
oh, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, Shadowfae jewelry is exceptional. I'm sure Enzo would like a new brooch for his cloak or something, and Phoebe would like What do you think Phoebe would like?
Well, she does have a nice ring in her nose. You could get her one
Yeah.
of those. She has some nice bracelets. Oh, a bracelet would be very nice. She doesn't have a tail, otherwise I'd say one of these,
And she points. She has the little bangle on her tail.
you know, but
Nope,
but
doesn't have.
she could wear that
Not
on
that
her
I know of,
arm.
at least.
That's true. I don't think she does, though. I think I would find it, but I haven't found that yet. Let's look at the shop. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And Bastion's feeling just really happy with like Pickle's enthusiasm, and he's gonna look for like one of the smiths at work, or someone who looks like a foreman, like someone who's like in charge, kind of. Is there anyone about?
It's a small place, so it's really just one person who's working the smithy and one person in the shop. 2 men, 2 shadow elves. What are you particularly
Bastion looks to
looking
he looks at the smith,
Mhm.
and he gets an idea and kind of smirks and says, "Pickle, why don't you come with me just a moment?
Okay.
I have an idea." And he walks her up to the smith and says, "Hello. Very good to make your acquaintance.
Good evening.
I'm Bastien, and this is my associate, Pickled Fish."
Good evening. Hello. Would you be interested in a demonstration?
Yes.
That is precisely what I was going to ask you for, yes.
Naturally, yes. He points at a little sign. That is 5 gold pieces for private demonstration. We usually have them on the hour, but it's a little bit late. But I'm happy
Certainly.
to do it for you if you have it.
Not a problem. Tell you what, could you invoice that to Marika Kumara?
Kamara?
Yes. Bastion Kumara. I'm
Yeah.
so very rude of me. Sorry. Bastion Kumara. So good to meet you.
Oh, I've done some work for. Yes, of course. We have the address in our books. How is your mother? I'm assuming you do look a little bit like her. I just now that I notice.
Yeah. She is. I hear she's well.
Good, lovely person. Good patron of ours. You know what? Don't worry about the books for now. If you want to get anything for your friend in the shop, we'll write it on the tab. But very good
Is that so?
clients of the shop. Yes. No, I mean we know you're good for it. Here, let me show
Of
you.
course.
And he starts showing you the various instruments. He is assuming you don't know what any of this is, because it's not like rat folk are that well known for being gifted smiths. But are you showing that you have some skill and expertise in this? Are you
I
trying to
think
hide
she's
it?
had I think she's had enough alcohol that she's still pretty buzzed, and anytime he like starts to name a tool, she'll either cut him off or she'll very excitedly like name what it is beforehand and then like kind of catch herself and just just so excited. Just she's a little like she's radiating energy right now. She's just so happy.
He is encouraging you though with the energy, and whenever he's taken aback a little bit at first, and when he realizes you know your stuff, he's, oh yeah, sure. Here, you wanna hold it? And he's sort of including you. It's less of a demonstration, and he's more open to talking to a fellow craftsman rather than teaching or showing someone who has no idea what's going on the ropes. Is there
Bastion's
anything in
kinda-
particular you would like from him? Because if you want to get something from the shop, I'll just fast forward to that. But if you want to, if you have something specific in mind, we can do it.
Not anything
For
in
me,
particular.
I mean, for Bastion's just sitting back and just smiling, just watching Pickle have fun right now. It's
And she's probably
it's
like
kind of like
looking at
Karen
Bastion
McDonald's
like,
watching their kid in the play place. Like it's just kind of like folded arms, just having a really just enjoying just watching Pickle have fun.
oh. Yeah, no, I can see us just enjoying this little showcase, and then yeah, we'll probably go to the shop afterwards. But
All right. In the shop, you find a man who is a little bit on the portly side, also shadow elf with long ram-like horns, reading a book, looking up. Oh, Malcolm, I thought I'd heard the hammering. Has my husband shown you around? Yeah, enjoying the show, enjoying the demonstration.
Yes.
Wonderful. Have a look around. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Of course.
Do you have anything with the moon on it?
Do we? Oh boy, do we ever. Yes, just here at the back, a second shelf from the left. And he points you into a direction that is full of Sarastra stuff and full of moon things. Some fairly cheap and fairly straightforward. It's just, yeah, little hammered amulets with the moon outlet just sort of pressed, embossed into it. And some of them are a little bit more expensive and a little bit prettier, from various precious gems included and sealed and what's the word? I'm not a smith, but set in bracelets, set in rings, and various amulets, runes, symbols that possibly Bastien would recognize, that Phöebe sometimes uses in rituals. There's a varying price range, and I'm asking you to, I'm begging you to make items up for me and tell me what you're interested in or what you would be wanting. They will have it.
Bastion just looks at the wall of like moon motif stuff and is like, I did tell you it's all Sarastra all the time. Yeah, there's no shortage of moon memorabilia. You don't have to worry about that at all.
Well, this would be perfect then to get a little trinket or memento of this city for Phöebe. And I'll find something for Lorenzo, so have fun.
and she's gonna like scamper off to go find something specifically for Lorenzo.
Meet me 5 minutes. No more than 5 minutes. Don't get lost.
And you hear a voice like a couple shelving units over.
Okay.
So what are
Okay,
you
bless
getting,
him.
Pickled Fish, for Lorenzo?
Some kind of like brooch for his cloak, or some kind of pin, or something, maybe even something for his horse, because I love his horse too. All of the above. But I'm thinking a brooch. for his cloak.
Brooch.
Bastien had mentioned that, so.
What sort of motif would you like for this? You would know about his affiliation for Storm and Thunder. You could potentially find some gems that are reminding you of storm clouds and color.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I'd go probably for that storm motif then. And kind of anything with like any kind of blue that would remind me of his eyes. I think that'd look nice.
Oh, I love that. You find the perfect color, the perfect blue matching his eyes, interspersed with white specks and some little bit of darker, almost like a framing. It's almost like a natural framing in the stone. It is an abstract sort of brooch, so it doesn't have the storm motif as such, but it's oval shaped, and it is simple, it is elegant, it looks super high fucking quality. It is also on the higher end of the price range, but it would suit him so well.
She kind of stares at it.
For the horse, you find a brooch that you think you could possibly rework into something that you can fit around the halter. You find it's in the kids section of the store, and you love the horse. You love feeding it carrots. It loves you for it. You find a cute little carrot with glittery rhinestones.
Oh yes. Yeah, she's just staring at it. She's in love with it.
Bastien?
She like calls across the store.
What is Bastien looking for, and what is Bastien finding?
Bastien has been staring at the same bracelet ever since Pickle left. It's not one of the ones that they keep out on the shelves. It's behind glass. It's in a locked cabinet, and it's so on display that it is like the only item in this little locked glass cabinet. That is this beautiful beaded bracelet that is silver, with silver inlaid with obsidian to form the phases of the moon as it goes around. The proportions of the beads kind of change so that it forms the faces of the moon, but yet it's also enchanted so that the obsidian and the silver rotate around your wrist as you wear it, almost as if it's orbiting you. And it's just this gorgeous piece that there's... I almost picture it like it's one of those things where there's like a button that's like, press here to try, and it keeps like rotating, and he's just like sitting there pressing it like, oh my god, this is it's beautiful.
A fancy hand gesture. It's literally just that.
Yeah, like a little wave of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the price is precisely what you think it would be, considering how on display it is. And he's standing in front of that case, waving his hand over and over again when he hears Pickle call.
So Pickle, Bastien isn't responding immediately as you call, and you eventually scuttle back to him and find him in front of that case as the shopkeeper comes in from the other side as well. Oh, that one is one of my favorites. Yeah. I think we only have 3 of them left. It takes quite a while for the enchantment to take hold. And it's actually, you can enchant it even further. It's quite popular with high priestesses and some of the higher ups in
priestesses, really?
Yeah, all the pearls you see, the moon-shaped pearls, you can enchant them with spells if you have the necessary means to add that, of course. Almost like pearls of power. Have you heard of these?
I have, yes.
So it's a very popular one because it's beautiful, but it also has the option of making it into a magic item. Not our forte, but we provide the basics.
Your smiths should be very proud of what they've created. It's
I
beautiful.
I tell him that every day.
It's very kind. Did you find anything, Pickle?
Yes, but your mother is paying for this, right?
And he looks to the shopkeeper. Yes, my mother is, it'll be on her tab, yes.
We don't really do tabs.
Can we, No, I'm sorry, misunderstanding. Pickle's not from here. The language is a little bit rough. Can we... Pickle, just give us a moment, will you? We're just going to... I'll work out the payment, don't worry. I love what you've picked out, it looks beautiful. Let me just speak with this kind woman here for just a moment.
Man.
Okay.
Both of them are male, but yeah,
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a lady.
Yeah. You walk away. Yeah, it's because it's me voicing it. You walk away, and to the till, and he's a little bit confused because clearly he hadn't heard what his husband had offered, so he has no idea. But you can reiterate that, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Can I offer you a memory?
No, I thought...
Don't worry about that. I can afford this if you get memories.
We do. What are you offering? This is a fairly expensive piece.
I'm sure that I'm good for it. Would you like to see?
Alright, this way. And he takes you into a little back room that is like an office space, and he starts chatting as he's looking through stuff. It's fairly unusual that people come here to pay with memories, but I should have the thing somewhere. Hold on. And eventually he takes out a little picture frame almost. Silver, simple frame, and a black base in the center that is so black it almost draws the light in. What are you offering? Are you sure?
Quite sure. And I think it should be more than sufficient.
Just saying, usually the type of guys that come in here and offer to pay with memories are offering that sort of memory for an engagement ring, or an heirloom, something they desperately want. They don't always know what they're bargaining it for.
Doesn't matter.
Alright. Show me what you got.
And Bastien looks at it and says, I'm sorry, I haven't done this in a very long time. How do I... walk me
Just
through this?
look at it. Think about it. And when you are through, let it go.
Okay.
And he offers you the picture frame for you to hold. And essentially, once you think of the memory, it replays in that picture frame, and he glances over your shoulder to check it. What does he see?
Bastien holds the frame in front of him, thinks about what he just said, and he kind of mumbles to himself, right. Think about it. Think about it. and he sees the shopkeeper standing over Bastien's shoulder, sees through Bastien's eyes from the stage at the inn. And he sees Bastien scanning the room, looking for any eyes on him, and seeing people he doesn't know, who are encouraging and smiling and nodding along to the music, affirming him almost, go on, it's okay, you got this, keep going, don't give up, as he was losing that battle. And he sees Bastien look to the front of the stage and see Phöebe looking at Calvin. And he shuts his eyes.
This memory.
That's the one. Right there.
And as you will that memory away, it goes away. There is an elation to what you feel as it leaves your mind, as it leaves you. Because a memory is never just a memory. It is a stepping stone. It is a foundation. And that little brick, that little piece, you pull it out, you feel yourself wavering for a moment. You don't remember why you were quite so sad the last few hours. You don't remember why you were quite so devastated. Sure, you lost the Bard battle, you remember that. You lost to someone you hate losing to. There was something cutting so much deeper, hitting so much harder, that has suddenly turned into smoke. And you stand there for a little while, slightly confused and dazed, as the shopkeeper takes the frame and says, "Nice doing business with you. This will be a good tipple."
Are we all
Need
square?
a little bit of water? Yeah, we're square. A little bit of water? Are you okay? You look a little bit dizzy. I know it can take something out of you.
But to be honest with you, I haven't slept in... I don't remember how long. 2
That's
days?
how it goes. There's a little inn down the road if you want to head there. A really good place, nice boutique area, just really beautiful, stunning look upon the marble bridge and the river.
That does sound lovely. I'm sure Pickle would love that. Well, yeah. Kind of like flexes his shoulders, feels lighter. Kind of bounces on his toes a little bit. All right. Could I get that bracelet gift wrapped?
Of course. And with that, we are moving back to Phöebe and Lorenzo, while Pickle and Bastien get their items gift wrapped. We are standing in the study / drawing room / office / library / trophy room of Theodore Frachter, with Lorenzo staring at a ring that calls to him.
It could be really dangerous.
I have no doubt that it is. I don't think that I have the strength to leave without it.
When it calls to you, what do you feel?
peace. The same peace that I always find in the storm. It's the only time anything makes sense.
Then you should take it. There are so few things that bring us peace. If you feel positively towards it, then it might be good for you.
He walks next to Phöebe, nods, and he slips the ring on his finger.
You will have to smash the glass case it is in.
Oh, without a second's hesitation.
The glass shatters. Nothing happens. You take the ring, you slip it on your finger. Now, here's something I'll offer everyone for attunement rules. This is something that you'll have to attune to. You can sacrifice your currently highest level spell slot to attune to it immediately.
It is gone. Just immediately you just see the lightning flare in his eyes. That spell slot is gone.
And you gain that lightning surging through you.
Mhm.
You can feel it. It's always been familiar, but it's never felt so like it's encasing you in a protective shell. You gain resistance to lightning damage and +1 to your con modifier. Oh, sorry, to your con stat, not to the modifier.
Sorry, I was lagging. What did you
How do
say?
you feel?
Yeah. Lightning resistance and +1 on your constitution.
I feel closer to whole.
You look around and there are other things. There is that tongue. There is a ring of a clairvoyant. There is a longsword and a mace. But looking around in the study, there's also books. There's a large desk with various items, some books open, some closed, ink pots and quills, scrolls. And there are
Okay, sorry.
2 mirrors.
He moves immediately towards the mirrors and there's no way to tell them apart, is there?
No. They literally mirror each other.
I still have my detect magic going. Are they both magical?
Yes.
Pig.
Phoebe, are you wanting to look at the items or take anything while you're here still before we continue with the mirrors and the rest?
Yeah, the ring of the clairvoyant and the mace in particular, I think she's looking at.
Mm-hmm. The mace is telling you the story of one of the brave warriors of the Black Guard that protect Prince Hendrik. How he forged it himself It is adamantine. A very heavy, tricky metal to work with. That is not magical inherently, but can be enchanted. And can occasionally overcome physical resistances of creatures and people.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that. Yeah, she's gonna reach up and take it. It's like the only weapon she knows how to use.
It is heavy. It is pitch black. But it feels well balanced and powerful. It's not a magical item with attunement, though. The ring of the Clairvoyant is. You can feel it, you can sense it. And the text speaks of an ancient ritual this ring was supposedly used in that would be spoken on every first full moon of the year. A ritual that would be cast to bring prosperity. To bring peace, hope, and magic to the new year. You take
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think at the first like mention on the thing of the full moon, she reaches out to take it.
Do you two sacrifice a spell slot to attune immediately? The highest you have.
Yep.
Yeah. If you still have that spell slot left, good. You gain a +1 to dex saves. Proficiency on all insight checks. If you don't have it already, you gain advantage.
Okay.
So Lorenzo's gonna be looking at the mirror for some time. Then he's going to call Phöebe. I need help. If you can spare a moment.
Yeah. What do you think?
And I think that once we make a decision, this mission will be over. And once that occurs, we will need to return to the others.
What's stopping you from breaking both of them?
I don't want the mission to be over just yet.
What do you want?
Complicated question. I don't know. What about you?
I said I'd help you, and I want to help you. What do you need me to do?
Can you see any differences in between these mirrors? I've looked and I can't spot any identifying factors.
Can I take a closer look?
You stand in front of them. You feel and see yourself mirrored 1,000-fold. Make me a wisdom save.
Okay.
Both of us, or just her?
Are you standing in front of the mirror? Because you were just looking at it from the side.
That's true.
18.
Out of the corner of your eye, just for a moment, you think that the fifth reflection behind you cocks her head a little. But then you look closely and it's nothing.
Anything?
No. I can flip a coin.
Very well then.
Do you smash the left or the right mirror? The one that was in front of me or the one that was behind her?
Would you like to choose, or would you like to leave it up to fate?
Let's leave it up to fate.
Phoebe will take out a coin. One left, two right.
Very well.
One.
He just immediately goes hard on it.
On the left one.
You both smash the mirrors at the same time. Is that what I understood you? Because you said you go for the
No,
yellow.
it's Lorenzo
Oh.
doing the smashing.
Ah, okay. I heard I go for the left one. You smash that mirror, and before your axe even properly impacts, it shatters into not shards of glass and broken frame, but it completely breaks into fine silvery sand, glittering in the light that is falling in from the skylight and sifting slowly to the ground. There's a magic residue that seems to evaporate slowly. You almost breathe it in.
Okay. I take a step back as to make sure I don't get the sand on me too much. Phoebe, you should make your way towards the exit now. I'll join you in just a moment.
Why?
Because I need to make sure we get the job done correctly. I am going to destroy the other mirror.
That's not what we agreed.
I'm a dampier for liars.
And what if I say no?
Nothing can happen to you, and I don't think that you understand that.
No, I don't. But you refuse to explain it.
Excuse me!
When I came...
Excuse me! Mr. Frachter? Oh shit, look at the door. Fuck. Fuck! Alright. You're still inside. Any wands, any weapons, drop them now. Come out with your hands raised.
We'll have to continue this some other time. If you could make your way towards the window, please.
You hear footsteps coming upstairs.
I'm going for the window.
I wait for her to, like, jump out of the window, and as soon as she does, I break the other mirror.
That's my computer locking up. 1 second.
No worries.
Thanks, Acrobat Reader. You, go to the window, you said?
Yep.
And where are you going, Lorenzo, again? It was laggy.
I am, as soon as I see that she's clear, I am going to break the other mirror.
And it shatters in much the same way as the previous one, leaving only glittery dust behind. When you hear the door being opened up to the study, and you see two large-looking shadow fae in a very similar dress, a very similar uniform as the guardians you've seen before at the fountain. Alright, stop right there! And we're rolling initiative, because you're not gonna stop right there, and I know it. That being said, actually we're not rolling initiative. Do you want to continue with our more open initiative? Because since we're only 2 plus 2 guards. Cool. So he does say stop right there. What is your reaction to that after you've smashed the mirror?
Is it both of them that came in, or just the one?
Just the one, but you heard 2 voices speaking to each other down there.
God damn it. I am so sorry to do this. I truly am. But unfortunately, you came into this room, and there's no one here. I need him to roll me a wisdom save. I'm using my predatory charm.
Ooh, hello, called back to last episode. And I rolled a 3, which means it's not even above a 10.
No.
Fine. I am not seeing any. Not here.
No, I'm sorry, Fred. Try the basement. You're certain that the intruders will be there.
Is this just the... Is it a charm effect? What does it exactly do? Is it a command? Is it a suggest?
As an action, I magically beguile the mind of a creature that I can see within 30 feet for 1 hour. I have advantage on charisma checks made against him. And I can compel him to do things for me, but if any of my enemies attack him, or if I attack him outright, it breaks.
Alright. Then roll me that persuasion check with advantage.
I am going to use my 20.
Well done. Thank you, Chaos Chorus, for that 20. I'm going to take it off your sheet real quick so you're not using it against me again.
Yeah.
But he sways.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just that's it. Just
he sways.
there we go.
He looks into your eyes. The basement. Yes. And you hear him
That's
sort of
where
half
I'd be.
falling down the stairs again. Basement. Yes. Phoebe, You are by the window, but you still saw this, I'm assuming. You see
Lorenzo, we should go.
blue eyes glowing red.
Of course.
Lorenzo.
We should. He just puts the axe away and follows out the window.
We're going out the window.
Make me acrobatics checks, both of you, or athletics, whatever works better.
Oh no. Well, I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 16 plus 6.
Cool. Lorenzo, not a
5
problem at all.
total for athletics.
Can I roll
you
with
jump-
disadvantage to see if I can try and catch her?
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
That is another 16.
Cool. So you manage to catch Phoebe as she jumps out and starts balancing on the very, very thin, just outside the window on the wall, very thin decoration when one piece breaks underneath. And you manage to catch her. And you fall down with her. But as you do so, sacrificing yourself for your friends, as you are wont to do, you manage to turn around so that you bear the brunt of the impact as you crash down onto the cobbles. Roll me 2d10s.
Alright, let's get it. That's a 2. And that is an 8.
So you take 10 bludgeoning damage as you fall from 20 feet, and the impact of Phoebe on you turns it from a d6 into a d10. You feel the air leave your lungs. But you're fine. You're a tough boy. As you get up,
Like,
you hear
as he
the
hit-
other guard. Yes?
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, as he takes the impact, he goes, "Nothing can happen to you." And he gets back up.
As you hear the other guard turn around the corner. Mono? Mono, where are you? Oof. And he takes a large glaive, holds it. You stop right there. What do, Phoebe? As Lorenzo's still catching his breath.
Oh gosh. I think she's just gonna say, "Get ready to run," and I'm gonna turn around and cast a moonbeam.
Big attack. Alright, cast that moonbeam. I think it's a dex or con save for me. I can't remember.
It is. Oh, I just had it up. Sorry.
I mean, I don't think I'll make it anyway, because it's not above a 10.
It is a con save.
Oh, actually, it is a 12, but...
That still fails
Yeah.
for me, so that's 2d10 for him. Sorry, fam.
You call
Oh,
down
no.
Sarastra's light.
I rolled 18 radiant damage.
Holy shit. And he screeches as he feels... It's like he's burning up from within. Yeah. He's not happy. He's stumbling out of that light immediately, of course. Actually, I have advantage on that. He's a fae. That's even fucking worse. He stumbles out of that immediately and just runs at you with his... oh, it's a pike, actually, not a glaive, but who cares? That
Pulling the
is
shield
a
off my back.
22, you do not have time for that right now. You just
No,
fell
absolutely
and
not.
cast a spell. So you take those -2. The thing is, I rolled a 16 and an 18 on both attacks. So plus 6, 22, and 24. I'm pretty sure both
Yes.
of them hit you.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, this is gonna be fun. Roll like shit. 6, 11. You take 19 piercing damage as he runs you through. You feel the wound in your side. You feel the pike exiting your side. Didn't hit anything too vital, but it's clean and it hurts a lot. Lorenzo, you managed to get up using half your movement as you're prone. What do you do in response to this?
So Lorenzo's eyes are burning red, and now his skin has gone a little pale, and you can see red veins going from his eyes and throughout his face. And he just says again,
"Nothing can happen to you."
and he moves forward, and he's going to attack the guard.
Go for it.
Okay, so that is a 15 plus...
That hits. His armor class is 15.
Oh, okay. And he's going to use his divine... he's going to use his Divinity for Storm Strike, which is going to add an additional 2d10 plus his Paladin level worth of lightning damage. So give me just a second here. So that's going to be a d8. Gotta get my d8. Okay, so that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30. And then... Yeah, he's pissed. He's gonna add a smite on top of that. So that's 2d8 as well. So 32, 38.
38 damage as you call forth the lightning, and it springs from your ring into your weapon and into this poor guard who is still okay, but with one hit, you basically took away half his hit points there. Yeah. He does not like that. And he pulls out the pike from Phöebe. You feel the blood trickling in between your hands. What do you do, Phöebe?
I am going to... Well, I guess make a concentration check for Moonbeam.
I was about to say, if you want to still use Moonbeam, make me a con save first.
Okay. That's 17?
Yeah, you're fine.
Enough? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to bonus action drag the Moonbeam onto him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's dang it, I just said it and I've already forgotten. A Constitution save.
I roll 2 6s. Great. No, he does not make it. Takes the full damage.
Okay. That is 17. The D10s are rolling today.
Jesus Christ.
Radiant damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then... Oh, because that's my bonus action. I'm going to, with my action, if I can, just continuing to like channel this energy that I have from the Moonbeam, use my channel divinity, and use Knight's Chill, so he has to make another Constitution save, as the heat is all drawn out of the air and into the Moonbeam.
That he does make.
Okay, so that is half damage. Is it's 13 total, so half of that is cold damage.
6. he is groaning as some of that warmth and some of that is taken, sucked out of his body, if you will. He sees that you are bleeding, and he is going for you, though. Even though Lorenzo did most of the damage, but he wants to disable you. He wants to apprehend one, and he hopes that if he does that, then he gets one person at least. That first attack with the pike is 19.
Yep.
And you... Yeah, because you used your bonus action, I'll say you did not have time to get the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the second attack misses, but the first one hits. Ooh. That is 17 piercing damage. As he cuts your upper arm with the pike, moves it around. He is a little bit worse for wear himself, but he is still fairly nimble. Lorenzo.
Phöebe is about to follow her.
So Lorenzo is taking on a more bestial look to him, and he just keeps repeating,
Nothing can happen to you. Please.
run. And he's gonna attack one more time.
You tackle the guy with your attack with your axe. What did you roll?
I rolled the nat 20.
Holy shit. Alright.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 damage on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to use his bonus action to make an unarmed attack. He drops the axe and he's latching onto this guy. And I rolled a 18 total.
Are you grappling him so... Yeah, are you trying to grapple him so Phöebe can get away, basically?
No.
He's
using his dark thirst ability. Yes.
Amazing. I love it. I like how you were trying not to say it as well. 18 of course.
He's very ashamed. So he's going to deal 1 point of piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing this creature has blood.
Yes.
So it's going to
Shadow Fae.
take... He's going to take necromantic damage equal to my charisma modifier. So that is an additional 4 damage. So he's taking an additional 5 damage on top of the original 13.
Yeah. As you, Phöebe... Sorry. Keep going.
Oh,
Lorenzo?
I was just going to say, and Phöebe, if you're looking, you notice that some of Lorenzo's wounds are starting to close.
As you look on, you see Lorenzo going almost feral as he charges up to the guard, his axe hacking into his shoulder, and just as the guard takes his head aside to try and evade the blow, which he doesn't, Lorenzo bites down onto his neck. It's a strange sound the guard is making. You have never heard that sort of sound before. It's a gargling sound that is unexpected. And yeah, you know exactly what Lorenzo is doing.
Is he still alive?
The guard? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still struggling.
Oh man. Yeah, Phoebe's not doing well. I think she's gonna leave it. I think she's gonna. I think she's going to start sort of because there's no way she's standing right now. I have 3 hit points. I think she's going to start sort of pulling herself out of the way and then just try to, like, in the clearest voice she can, say, Lorenzo, we have to go. Now.
It's not even words back that she's getting, just a growl. Just,
If we don't go, you're going to lose me. And I think she's
the
like falling
growling
over.
The growling stops. He wants to finish this guard so fucking bad. Like, really, really bad.
As you're still thinking, as you're still hesitating, the guard is fumbling for a dagger and is trying to shank you in the side. Does a 17 hit you, Nor?
Beat it.
Yeah. It's just a dagger, though. He dropped his pike at your attack, being very surprised at your sudden proximity and being fucking bitten in the neck. That's 6 plus 10 damage you take from that dagger. You feel the sting. Your own blood is rushing.
Yeah. The growling stops, but his voice is still very different and distant. I'll be with you in a moment, Phoebe. I just have to finish my plate. And he goes in. And he continues to drain the card.
Right? Is it just automatic?
Yes, he's got to break free. So that's another 5.
I'll say because he used his action to shank you, that you get another round of draining before he can try and break free. So roll me the damage for the second.
It's automatically 5.
Automatically
It's just
5
each time.
Cool. He tries and break free unless Phoebe is wanting to intervene.
Nope.
It's a 5. You drain him for another 5 points. He is starting to fade. He shanks you again. That is a... That is an 18. The second one does not hit. You take 5 piercing damage. You drain him again. He is now desperately trying to stab at whatever is in front of him. You can hear his voice, his desperate screams, muffled screams, grow weaker and weaker. And then he stops, struggling.
I just drop him. And I
Blood
walk
streaming
over to
down
Phoebe.
Lorenzo's chin. Caught in his beard and his hair on his clothes.
I think Phoebe is on the verge of unconsciousness, and just reaches out and grabs at whatever is there at Lorenzo's hand or whatever and casts Cure Wounds on him.
You see his hands covered in lightning. And as he receives the healing from her, he kind of chuckles. No, I said nothing could happen to you. And he's going to dump all of his lay on hands, all 15 points of it. We need to go.
You heal 11. Just saying.
You both reach out and you manage to just grasp each other in this classic, beautiful, brotherly, two warriors on the battlefield grip as you heal each other. Phoebe, you regain your strength. You look back on the corpse of a Shadow Fae guard. At first, you'd expect more blood, but then you remember, where that blood went. And we return to Pickled Fish and Bastien. What are you doing? Have you, at this point, arrived at the Moody Marlin, the lovely inn that the two Shadow Fae smiths have recommended to you?
That we did. And I'm going to say we Bastien threw his weight around a little bit and splashed out, so they got themselves a pretty nice room. They got themselves a pretty nice little suite, and they're both. I mean, both of us, right? I mean, we're pretty damn exhausted at this point. It's been like 2 days since we've slept.
Yeah. The person at the reception is quite happy to just give you a room. Doesn't ask if you're good for your money. Doesn't ask to see payment up front, because in this particular part of town, that's usually not a problem, and you look the part. Especially when, if you give your name, they don't know your family. It's not like everyone knows your family, but it is a proper Shadow Fae name. That goes a long
Respectable.
way. Respectable, that is very true. What kind of room are you wanting? What kind of treatment are you asking for?
Oh, well, we're going to need a few extra beds. What would you like, Pickle? I don't know. What would be good for you to rest upon?
There was one time that I felt something silk, and it was so soft. So, something silk.
Do you have anything silk?
Of course. The honeymoon suite is all silk. We have the ambassador suite as well. Very beautiful view over the river. We have a couple of standard rooms. No silk, but very, very soft cotton. And, yes, no? Is that to your liking?
He looks down at Pickle and kind of grins. The booze is mostly worn off at this point, but they're still a little bit silly, and they're just slap happy, I think, from having not slept at all. He's like,
Yeah.
What do you say, honey? The honeymoon suite?
Oh, yes! Yes, that would be lovely!
And she like hugs onto his leg and is just kind of leaned against him.
Like, puts a hand on her head. That would be
Naturally.
heavenly, thank you.
Naturally, we can, and she shows you she's elven. She shows you a little, beautiful little, almost like a menu thing, but it's bound in leather. It's, those hotel menus for yeah, with various packages. One including champagne and a couple of massages. One is a beautiful romantic dinner at the balcony. It's steep prices, but it is some packages put together specifically for people who rent the honeymoon suite. Strawberries and chocolate, champagne.
Looks at Pickle like, should we?
Yes, darling.
Yes, darling. We'll take the lot.
Oh, all right. Well, actually, you're welcome to. Just let me. Any luggage that I can get for you?
No, actually. We're traveling very light on our honeymoon. Yes, we backpacking it, so to speak. Simple.
Oh, adventurers. Wonderful. Let me
Yes.
show you upstairs then. It's
Please.
a very thin, sort of tall house that seems incredibly quaint and medieval-esque. It's that, again, that's that part of the town that has not quite yet seen all the beautiful marble rebuilding and refurbishing, but it is definitely a house that has been refurbished recently. It just still looks so quaint from the outside. And
So
as you
quaint.
head up and she shows you the room, it is breathtaking. It is large. It is all gold and roses and beautiful red, burgundy red satin wallpapers. Naturally, silk fucking everywhere. It's not just on the bed, all the pillows, even the upholstery on the couch and the fainting couch, because of course there's a fainting couch, and the various armchairs. It's all beautiful, silken. There's flowers everywhere as well, with a large balcony, not overlooking the river, although the window that is just opposite the bed, the very large, very comfortable bed, that one is overlooking the river, but the balcony itself is overlooking the city with a beautiful view to the Black Palace. We can have dinner brought onto the balcony here in about an hour, if that's all right. Here. These are the options. If you would just like to have a quick look. Naturally, if you want it any later, we can accommodate that.
Not later. That time's good, but just for the lady, a bit smaller. That's all. Just
Of course,
you understand.
yes. Any dietary requirements?
None.
All right.
I think.
Well, have a look. I'll just do a quick check through it, but as you can see, it was just made up for potential guests the other hour. It's my favourite up here, to be honest. I take every excuse to come up and do the room myself. It's so beautiful.
Yes, and we do have 2 friends in the area who may drop by, so we have spaces for them as well.
Oh, that is very adventurous. Yes. We can.
Just friends. Dropping.
Oh, my apologies. And she
Don't
goes
read too
bright
far.
red.
Yes.
She goes bright red. There is. We could, yes. Would you like a different room for them, or here?
This is fine. This is sure. Yeah, this is fine. We have the space, certainly.
Yes, we can put a different. We can put 2 more beds in here. Yes, I'll have that
That would
arranged.
be perfect. Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much.
She's a little bit confused as to why a couple on their honeymoon would like to have two friends sleep over, but sure. And heads back out with your dinner requirements. You are alone with a beautiful view and lots of roses and lots of silk.
Bastien just looks to Pickle like.
And she's also laughing, just cracking up. And then she, like, throws herself against the bed where there's silk, and she's, like, puts her face on it, just, this is the softest material, and I just love it so much. It's great.
You should try this. And he flops back on the bed and does like a snow angel on the silk. Oh, that is very nice. This is extremely high quality. Oh my.
And she, like, tries to launch herself onto the bed, which I imagine is at just a height that probably can't do it. So she's, like, clambering her way up the side.
Gives her a
And then,
boost.
yes.
Behind
Just
paw.
gives her a little boost and pulls her up.
And then she just
Up
lays
again.
there, face down. She's just laying there, just, yes,
Clanking.
this is
on the-
nice. Oh.
Pickled fish. We have outdone ourselves.
We have. But
This is
how are we going to find our friends to get them here?
Oh, I hadn't thought that far ahead. Huh. They'll probably go back to, the other inn. Maybe we could go find them there and then bring them back here.
We could, yes.
Unless you know of a better
Should we
way.
eat? Well, can we eat first?
I don't see why not. Looks like there's already. Oh, look at this! They've left out pastries.
And the two of you are going ham on those pastries. You have not eaten in so fucking long. And you just now notice how long as your stomachs are grumbling, and those sweet treats are the best thing you have ever tasted. As we move back to Lorenzo and Phöebe, who are fleeing the scene of murder and crime, because that's exactly what fucking happened just now. And you have closed the major wounds. You're still badly hurt, but you don't leave blood trailing behind you. You manage to sneak back across the bridge, pretending to look somewhat normal and touristy, holding on to each other, potentially even to mirror the other two. Potentially even as if you were just a couple walking, strolling, while really you're holding each other up for dear life. How are you contacting Mareshka? Are you going to the shop, or are you using the mirror?
Yeah, he's just gonna go directly to the shop. And on the walk there, he just kind of leans into Phöebe and goes, I have a request that I would ask of you.
Okay.
Don't tell Pickle or Bastien about this, please. About what you saw.
Which part? Okay.
Also, I, we, Dampier, we can make people see and do things. I've never done that to you or to Bastien or Pickle. I don't do that.
I feel like you have a lot of shame.
How do you feel about what we were made to do during Bastien's show?
I only remember bits and pieces.
Fair.
But we're not talking about
Calf-
that. We're talking about you.
Calvin had to learn how to do that. He had to study. He had to work for it. Phöebe, that is what I am. So, there is shame. So just don't tell Pickle and Bastien. Please.
I'll keep your secret. But
Thank you.
you feel a lot of shame about what you are, what you do, even though you didn't choose to be it or do it. And I don't think that's fair. You're a child of the night. A lot of us are. But you deserve to be here. And to be you. Just think about it.
You can tell he was about to say something and then he choked it down and he just started walking to the shop.
And you reach the shop, which is closed, but you do see Mareshka inside. It is one of those places where her living quarters are just above. And you're not sure if she waited up for you guys or if she just is still working. It looks like she is working. She is sitting bent over a handheld mirror, working some enchantment spell. And as you knock on the glass door, she looks up, smiles, walks up to you and opens the door, unlocks it and lets you in. How did it go?
Just walk. My debt is paid.
Thank you. That is appreciated. You are free to go. You have upheld your end of the bargain. You have kept your word. But there is an offer I have for you. You see, I know where you're from. It's very easy to see. And you don't seem to be here quite intentionally so. After all, you wanted to check on home. A place in Midgard. Sobek, was it?
Yes.
Well, it just so happens that I need one of my wares transported to Midgard through the Shadow Roads. They are not always safe, especially not where I need that mirror transported to. I cannot take you back to Zobak. The Shadow Roads are not exactly open to everyone. You need a rite of passage. You could obtain that through me. Take the mirror to where it needs to be taken to. And you can stay behind in Midgard. Tit for tat, no favor needed, no promises. You help me, I help you.
We will consider your offer. It has been a long night, and I would like to rest.
Well, you know where to find me. Keep the mirror for now.
I do.
I know you will give it back if you say no.
Thank you, Mariska.
You're very welcome, Lorenzo. Good night.
Good night. And he pulls out the mirror and just goes, "Please show me my friends."
As you say that to the mirror now in the early morning hours of another day, you see Pickled Fish and Bastien going absolutely ham on a bunch of pastries, laughing. You don't hear them, but you can see them, and you can see something in Bastien's eyes, something in Pickle's eyes that is... It seems so far away from you right now. So unobtainable. So alien.
I make sure that Phöebe can get in on seeing the two goofballs.
You see it too.
They seem happy.
They seem happy. And as it kind of zooms out, if you will, you see the room, the large bed, the balcony with the river, the palace, the view. You see a little sign outside saying the Moody Marlin.
Well, we know we know where they are now.
Yeah.
We're still in the shop, so there's one last thing I'd like to do. I just want to take a quick look around to see if there's anything that I think Pickle and Bastien would like.
No.
Yeah,
These
I didn't think
mirrors
so.
are large and expensive and special. There are no knickknacks. There are no small things that you can quickly grab from the counter.
It's worth a shot. Let's go get those two under control.
Can I ask you one thing?
You can ask me 100 things, Phöebe.
I have never met someone more concerned with my life than you. Why? Why do you keep saying that?
Because you are the very... You're the most important thing to someone that I love very deeply.
But you're not going to tell me who it is.
Think about it.
And that's
Fair.
where we'll end. Because even though that breaks the agreement, it is beautiful and perfect. And you can come back, guys. As we end another episode that kind of took a turn halfway through. Starting really comic reliefy and fun and happy, and then got real fucking real. Because Noir is a glutton.
I don't know what you're
for
talking about. We had fun the
very
whole time.
clearly. I mean,
It was
yeah,
great for us.
sure.
We're in the
And
honeymoon
Lorenzo had a
suite.
Capri Sun. Mm. Whew. Are you okay,
Oh, Lord.
guys?
Motherfuckers did. I hope y'all didn't think I put vampire on the character sheet for fun. You know,
I was expecting it. I was expecting it quite so soon because, you know, oh boy. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Lorenzo, would you like to talk about your feelings?
Yeah, he's been pushed all day. And he finally got the chance to let out some violence. And, well, as much as he's trying to emulate an honorable man, he knows that he's not one. And, the second he got a chance to show his true nature, just really let it out for what he perceived to be the greater good, he took the chance. He took the opportunity. He just went hard in the paint.
I'm sure that will be solved with just a tiny little bit of therapy and, you know, a plush toy. I don't know. Phoebe, how are you doing?
What a question you've asked me. Phoebe... Oh, man. Phoebe, I think, in the moment is very concerned about how close to literal death she came. But she did it for a reason and didn't back down, and that's kind of how she is. As far as what is going on with Lorenzo, there is no judgment from her as far as something like that goes. I think if anything, she just has like questions. But she feels like she did what she set out to do, and she told him at the beginning, you asked me to be here, we're doing this together, and she feels like she fulfilled on that, so she just wants to like continue that friendship, I guess. I mean, she has questions, but she always has questions.
I do love how Phoebe is so fucking neutral. It's like, it doesn't even fucking matter that he just drank a random guy of her.
I mean, that guy did try
too.
to... I was gonna say tried to stab her. That guy did stab her like multiple times, so she's like,
He's a guard.
Is
He
that
broke
you
into
need that?
house.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Take it. He probably sucks.
I love it. That's the level of loyalty you want from your friends.
Damn straight.
Yeah, Bastien, how have you been doing? Mr. Don't
know,
sell
better
your memories,
now.
that's a bad thing. Yeah.
No, better now. That's feel
I wonder
feel
why.
a lot better. Yeah, just feel. I don't know what the big deal was. I don't know what he was so upset about. It was just, you know, win a few, lose a lot, right? That's how it goes.
And how's Colin feeling?
Colin is feeling very grateful to Seb Pierce of sebpierce.com for creating a random New Age bullshit generator, which is what I use to generate the text of the Sarastra sacred text. I want to give credit where credit's due. I was reading from some randomly generated New Age bullshit, and to Seb Pierce, whoever you are, the brilliant person that created this program, bless your cotton socks, that was very helpful. Yeah, I'm feeling. Bastien's not perfect. I mean, he still remembers a lot about that whole experience, but he's lost the most painful part of it, and that might be what helps him move forward from here. But for right now, him and Pickle are just hedonists, just enjoying pastries and silk sheets, living the life. It's not so bad.
And speaking of our best rat girl, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I got to play around with some smithing tools. I got to stuff my face with pastries and rub my face in a sheet. And she's still she got very drunk and then rode that buzz. And yeah, she got gifts for people. So Pickle did great this time, I think. And she's trying to keep Bastien on the up and up. So I'll be curious to see how just how the rest of that plays out once we all get back together. So yeah.
And you will get back together next episode. I'm very, very happy, proud, shocked by how 110% in you go with every scene, with every show. I was like, yeah, might be a fairly simple shopping episode, a little bit of fun, a little bit of stuff here, stuff there. No! Turns out, when giving Noir even the tiniest opportunity to fuck himself over, he'll do it. And what more could you want in an RPG player? What more could you want? I love it. I don't know what's gonna happen next. You now have a potential way out. There might be other ways, obviously. You do not have to take Mareshka's offer. And we'll find out together what's going to happen.
They also did a murder. That's not...
That too.
Yeah.
Jeez,
murder
bro.
part.
Way to snitch.
Nobody needs to know.
I'm out here literally eating dudes to be a good wingman, and you gonna call me out?
See, the funny thing is, with every other role player, with every other group, I probably would have reminded them, you can do non-lethal damage, right? But I'm like, nah, they know, and they don't fucking care.
I know!
We know.
Yeah, you did non-lethal damage to the pastries. But apart from that...
Look, I had a bad day,
No.
That
was lethal. That was definitely
Those pastries
lethal.
got fucked.
Are you sure
Jesus
you want to go
Christ.
with that phrasing?
No survivors.
There was a whole film.
I
in the
said
90s
what I
about it.
said.
Oh, jeez.
By the way, Noir, I'm just curious with Lorenzo why you haven't gone this route yet. You haven't done any of these.
Oh, because he's not that
Okay.
kind of scary bad guy.
Now, before Colin is showing off all of the snap filters that we all have, but have control over ourselves, let's do our little outros. Yeah, this is a call out. Would you
Okay.
like me to address it to you personally? Sealed, waxed and sealed. Anyway, we're doing it not counterclockwise. We're doing it clockwise this time. So Phöebe, Pickle, Lorenzo, Bastien, or Savvy, Draco, Noir, and Colin, please let us know what other projects you're involved in. If there was something specific you want to say to one of the other role players, feel free to just all scream at Noir. That's what I'm going to do. And yeah, let us know where we can find you.
Hello. I'm Savvy. You can find me at Savvy Seaworth on Twitter. That's where I post about everything I'm doing. When I am not here, I am on, a couple of different places. On Friday afternoons for the next 3 weeks, I think I'm on Encounter Roleplay, running Apocalypse World. It's a show called Diesel Punks, and it's getting just real rowdy over there, and Lydia plays in it, and it's very, very fun. So that's Friday afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Come hang out. And then every other day of the week, I am on twitch.tv/game nights. That's game with 2 G's and nights with a K. We play all kinds of Dungeons and Dragons, The Sprawl, many, many other games. Monster of the Week I run over there. So yeah, come hang out with us. I want to shout at all of you is the place that I'm sitting right now. I want to shout at you, but it's out of love. I'm very, very glad that Phöebe and Lorenzo had some time together. That was a pairing that we had not gotten to yet, and I love it. I love that friendship. It is incredibly emo. It's the most emo sort of friendship that's ever happened in the universe. I love it. I want to continue it. And I'll leave off with, I'm glad my camera was off for every scene between Bastien and Pickle, because I was crying.
Yeah, I was glad my camera was off for a lot of those Phöebe Lorenzo scenes because I was reacting hard. So good times, good times. Yes, hello everybody. I'm Draco. You can find me on Twitter at Draco. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I've been chatting over in chat. You can find me Draco3690. Even though I forgot to stream today. I forgot it was a Monday. I don't even know. This is a weird day. It's Labor Day. Yeah. Let's see, favorite scene. I loved the tension of the house whenever Phöebe and Lorenzo were getting drawn to these items. Like that kind of kept me riveted. I was like, oh, are they gonna fall for it? Like, so that was fun. I really liked that scene, and that was a fun way to kind of get more of your character out there too. I like it. Yes.
Okay, I guess it is my turn now. Hello, everybody. I'm Noir. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch as the Noir Enigma. I've just started streaming on Twitch. We've gone 3 days in a row now. 3-hour, 2-hour streams. It's been fun. I've started some very weird hashtags. You can also find me over on LFM. We'll be starting our show's Degrees of Madness pretty soon, which is me and 2 puppets and some guests. It is going to be fun. Also, I'll be in Bloody Portrait, which is a Zweihander game over on Chromatic Chimera. And last but not least, on Wednesdays, I'll be on the Curse of Strahd show over on Last HP Hero. So, favorite moments. I really, really do love the friendship between Phöebe and Lorenzo. I love that he's doing his best to drop hints to Phöebe about what's going on, and she's not getting it. It's like trying to not break the bro code, but also like Phöebe has earned his respect, and they're bonding so much that he's just like, it'd just be easier if they knew, and it just never works. And last but not least, just the heart that was Bastien in teaching Pickle to read. Just, I'm glad my camera was turned off because there are tears and giant idiotic looking grins. But that's those are my moments.
Oh yeah, God. Hi, Colin here. Colin Amicon of all the places. I do this show Monday nights and then Wednesday nights. It's from 6 to 9 on Encounter Roleplay. I do Cult I Am Pilgrim, where everything bad ever happens all the time, and we're all sad permanently, and we keep coming back and let Mitch just beat us up week after week for some reason. But it's awesome and I love it, but you need to decompress after that show. Wonderful show. And then Friday from 9 to midnight is Wild and Chaotic, where I play a Southern pirate, Captain Kit Calloway and the faithful crew. That's having a ton of fun with that, and recently just featured. Hey, if you've got thirst for Lorenzo, well, have I got great news for you over on Wild and Chaotic. We just got ourselves a vampire you can go check out. Yes, you heard me right, folks at home. A vampire. Yeah, try to contain yourselves. Seriously, try to contain yourself. My favorite... Oh, I also stream on Twitch, too, if you ever want to check that. I don't know, it's pretty infrequent, but I do that, too. The favorite moment, I personally, for my own selfish love, teaching Pickle how to read was so much fun. I loved role-playing that with Draco. And we actually were reading off we had the same New Age bullshit text that we were reading off of, and following along with her and being, oh yes, oh no, so close, a little bit. You know, just so much, that was so much fun. And it's always, every time I get to do a scene with Draco, I have so much freaking fun doing it. Outside of my own selfish love of I want to have all the scenes with Draco, Phöebe and Lorenzo's, and this is saying something because anyone who's played with me know this is like not my thing, but Phöebe and Lorenzo's combat was tense as hell, and I'm just not a big combat guy, but that really got me. Particularly, of course, my dear boy, my best friend in the world, my dear sweet Enzo, breaking his vows and drinking some blood. That... Honestly, y'all should have seen the green room chat, because the first time when Noir said that he's going to use the predatory charm or whatever it is, me and Draco were just losing our minds in green room chat, just going insane. And then when you said you're going to drink this guy's blood, then we really just lost our shit completely. And I wish... Oh, I really wish you could... I know you don't want Bastien to know, but man, he just wishes he could talk to you right now about this. But hey, I can't talk shit. I'm telling you to keep secrets too, so what are you gonna do? But that was a joy in the most painful way, seeing Lorenzo's kind of little miniature fall from grace happen in real time. That was rough, but don't worry, we'll talk about it. So that's me. This was fun. I'm happy that we didn't have the real sad plot line tonight, so we got to just get drunk and play with silk sheets.
Yeah.
Oh, you have no idea.
There's only so many sad plot lines in one episode we can have parallel, really. And I think we've had plenty of potential future soul-destroying, personality-changing, big moments, and we seem to be having them a lot, and I'm here for it. And yeah, this is pretty fucking special and pretty fucking just harrowing in a weird way. You guys, I'm like aging for 3 years every time I play with you because I'm so worried about you. But at the same time, it's so invaluable to have a crew like that. And I know I say it every fucking time, but it's true. When you sit there as a GM, like, oh, that deserves GM inspiration. Oh, that too. That as well. No, wait, that's just the baseline. That's just the... Fuck. Yeah, all of you take GM inspiration for next time. One advantage. And of course, if you want to help them, you can do that with the link I just posted in chat, because we are handing out an auto crit for 1 player. This time, of course, Lorenzo is not on the poll because I always take the person off that got it the previous week. But you can vote between Phöebe, Bastien, Pickled Fish, and actually me as well, because, you know. But that is a hard choice today. I'm Lydia. I'm Half-Hour's Hermit on most socials, and I am completely immersed in the world of RPG these days. You can find me on Encounter Roleplay, which is also something that we've posted in chat several times. It's our Discord where you can join for all the fun games and the discussions of the games. There are people screaming already in the Lessons of Deep Magic thread. We have casting calls posted in there for streamed games. We have fun little community events and occasional just a Day of Thirst gifts. Colin posts a lot of Dave Grohl. We have to talk about that at some point. But either way,
we do not. No, we don't. No, we don't.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I'm not judging. But hop in and say hi if you want to. Everyone watching the VOD, thank you for that as well, because I know we are screaming a lot about it, and we are trying to literally convert people to watch this campaign, but I'm fully aware that everyone does that when they're playing in a campaign. So the fact that we had last week so many people actually giving it a go, actually going like, these people are intense about their fucking D&D campaign, what's the matter with them, and actually checking it out, that is worth so much. You can find us here again next week. You can find me on Friday with Savvy, with Diesel Punks Powered by the Apocalypse over on Encounter Roleplay at 3 p.m. You can also find me on Crownlands, the Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire thing I'm guesting at the moment, before this game on Encounter Roleplay at 3 p.m. Playing a Wood Switch. I just gave people lots of visions and I'm about to shank a guy. And I think that's it. Am I doing anything else?
Oh, hey Lydia, I forgot the show we're doing next week on this channel. Didn't mention that.
Yes, thank you. I knew there was something. This morning we got a beautiful thing in about next week, because you know what? Kobold Press is starting another Kickstarter, so it will be funded in like 3 hours. But if you want to get your hands on it, then check out their Twitter as well, Kobold Press, on all socials. They're giving you a little bit of a dungeon crawl element with lots of fun traps and treasure, and we're going to just show what it's like. We're going to have a fun little one-shot right here at 8 p.m. as well.
8 p.m.
So 8 p.m. EST on Tuesday with Colin, that guy, GMing for once, paying me back for all the emotional trauma I've given his character and him.
Just you wait.
Oh, no. Until then, I have the honor to be your obedient GM. I guess.
Go away.
Go away. Yeah, I know, it didn't work out, did it? Okay, one of these days we'll end with the Hamilton lyrics and references, but it is not today. So check again, maybe next week we'll end with the Hamilton lyrics and become serious grown-up adults. And let us know if there's anything else you want to see here. If you want me to torture people more, join the Discord, watch the VODs. I'm gonna shut up now. Good night, everyone.